Hi, I'm Ronald. I'm a tech support representative for Midnight Power, and here beside me we've got a stack of four Powerful 5 batteries, and I'm going to show you guys today how to connect to these batteries using a Windows 11 laptop and an RS-232 converter. So some of you may know you have a converter tool. There's three different kinds of tools that we mainly use. There's a wave share. This is the This is a USB to RS-232 converter. Um, Same as this. This is also a gold key. Some of you may have this, or you may have the smaller version, which is the blue tool. So today I'm going to show you guys how to connect to these batteries, how to diagnose them if they have any problems, how to connect to the BMSs and read the BMSs, and I'll also show you how to update the batteries if they need an update. All right, so I'm going to show you the different types of tools that you can use. So we're going to start with the wave share. Some of you have the wave share device. Now this is a really cool device that you can use to read the batteries, or you can also use it for our inverter. If you've purchased the wave share off of Amazon, then you will also need a little board like this. Now there's two types of boards. There's the small 5-pin board, and then there's the 9-pin board. You're only ever going to use pins 2, 3, and 5. It doesn't matter which board you get. It's always pins 2, 3, and 5. You're going to connect to 2, 3, and 5 on this one, 2, 3, and 5 on this one, and you will connect to the wave share device. So you will just plug it right in. And at the other end, on pins 2, 3, and 5, you're going to connect a RJ45 jack with a Cat 5 cable or Cat 6 cable. It doesn't matter which one. And this specific cable has two ends. One is for the PowerFlow 16, one is for the PowerFlow 5. So this is made up into one cable. If you only have one cable that you connect to it, that's fine, but you're gonna have to make the correct pin out for this side. And then you can email us for the instructions on that. And also the pin out is in the manual. You're only gonna use pins 6, 7, and 8. The PowerFlow 5 battery and the PowerFlow 16 battery are different. However, the new PowerFlow 16 battery has the same pin out as the PowerFlow 5 batteries. So if you have the newer battery, then you will use the same PowerFlow 5 pin out. But you always refer to the battery manual for the pin out, because you don't want to plug in the wrong thing or mess up anything. So refer to the manual. If you're not sure, you can give us a call on our tech support number. So this is the wave share. This is basically the complete setup. You're going to have on one end the USB where you will plug into your laptop, and then the little board that plugs into here. You're going to put this on 5 volts. So you have an option for 3 and for 5. You're going to put it to 5. And then from here, you're going to have your Cat 5 cable with the correct pin out to an RJ45 jack. So it's pretty much the same thing with the gold key. Gold key does the exact same thing. You can plug it in right here, and you have your USB connection to the laptop, to the little board, and then to the Cat 5 cable with the RJ45 jack in the end. And the same thing for the blue tool. You can connect to the end here. This blue tool can only be used with our batteries, cannot be used for the inverter. But on the end, you have your USB connected to the tool, then to the board, and then to the RJ45 jack to connect to the battery. All right, so for this demonstration, I'm going to show you guys how to connect to the battery. We're going to use the wave share device for this demonstration. So, like I said, you're going to have your USB connection, which you're going to plug into your laptop. And you should have a red light. If you do not have a red light, then something is wrong. So make sure you have a red light on your wave share device. Do not set this device on top of the battery. Do not set your laptop on top of the battery. You want to put it somewhere where it's not touching the battery. And since these are PowerFlow 5 batteries, we're going to use the PowerFlow 5 Connect RJ45 jack, and we're going to connect to the console. There are 4 different ports here. There's a CAN 485. CAN 485 is only to be used for the inverter. So this goes from the CAN 45 to the inverter for communication. There's a link in and the link out. Those two are used to link battery to battery. And the console is what you're going to use to link the tool. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in. All right, so to get to the BMS software tool, when you click on the link that we send you, you're going to click on Tools, you're going to click on Firmware, you're going to click on Battery Firmware, and then here you've got 3 folders. You got the PowerFlow 5 firmware, PowerFlow 16 firmware, and you got the battery software tools. So on this page here, you've got battery software tools, MN PowerFlow 16 firmware, and PowerFlow 5. You're going to click on battery software tools. Here we've got a serial port driver. We've got a firmware update tool, and we've got a BMS tool. Now, these are the 2 software tools that you're going to use. One is to update the battery. The other one is to diagnose the battery. It's good. This is going to show us the cells and see whatever alarms it has, if it has any alarms or anything. So the first thing you're going to do, though, is you're going to download the serial port driver. You want to download this driver so you're able to link to the battery. This is the Vista driver installer that you're going to use. So to download it, you're going to go back to the serial port driver. You're going to click on this little box here, and then you're going to click download. This is going to save it somewhere on your laptop. Every laptop is different, so you need to see where it's saved. It's finished here. So like I said, every laptop is different. You're going to click, on my case, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go to downloads. And right here it is, 232 drive. It's going to save it as a zipped folder. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that. Well, I'm going to open it. I'm going to go to 232 drive, and I want to click on this PL Vista driver installer, the middle one. This is going to be an application. So we're going to click on that application. It's going to ask me if I want to extract all or run. You want to click run. Now it's going to ask you, do you want this app to allow changes? You're going to click yes. And you're going to, since I've already downloaded this, it's going to ask me if I want to remove it. I'm going to click no, I don't want to remove it. Well, actually, let's do yes. Let's remove it, and then let's go back and download it. So that way, I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to click run. And it's going to download. You're going to click next. You're going to accept the terms and the license agreement. You're going to click next. You're going to click finish. So now you've downloaded the drive. So now you know the battery tool will work. Once you do that, you want to go back to battery firmware, battery software tools, and you're going to download this entire folder, the BMS check tool. You're going to click here, and you're going to click download. You're going to wait for that to finish. So once you've downloaded the BMS check tool, you want to open up the tool. So you're going to click open the file. You're going to open it, and then when you open it, you're going to see this long list of different things. Now what you're going to click on is the LZ low volt tool. This is the application, not application extensions, none of this stuff you need to click on. You only need to click on this. It's going to ask you if you want to extract all or run. In this case, you want to extract all of the folders. So once it's extracted, it's going to take you right back to the BMS check tool. So you're going to click through it, and you're going to click the LZH low volt tool, the same application, now that it's extracted. When you open it, it's going to take you to this, Windows protected your PC. This is because it thinks it's a virus. You're going to click more info, and you're going to click run anyway. It's not a virus, so it's very safe to run on your laptop. And it's going to take you to this window here. So, and this window is the BMS tool. This is going to tell us if these batteries have any alarms, if the cell temperatures, the state of charge, the cycles, and all that. As you can see on the top right corner here, there's a red dot. On that red dot where it says status, it should turn green once you're connected to the battery. You're going to click open serial and it'll turn green. So we're going to connect to the battery now. We've got our WaveShare tool. It's connected to the battery on the console port. The battery's off, so we need to turn it on. 1, 2, 3 second hold, and it will turn on the battery. It'll flash. You've got to wait for it to finish. There it is. It's done. Now let's go back to the laptop, and we're going to click open serial. As you can see, it populated all the information, and we can see that this battery is doing really good. It has 62%. It's got a 52.8 volts on the battery. It shows us the remaining capacity. It shows us the temperatures of cells. Shows us that all the cells are even. So battery's been balanced really good. There's no alarms. So this is a really good battery. It also shows us here on the corner the UL 1058 10016 times 2 523. This is the version that it has, so it's been updated. Yeah, and this is the diagnostics tool to read the cells on the battery. So if you have any problems with your batteries, if you see your batteries are alarming for whatever reason, you can connect this tool to your battery and see why it's alarming. It's going to give us some protection alarms here and some other alarms here. These will not shut down the battery here. They will only show you if they are alarming. Over here, these are protections. They will shut down the battery if they're on. And yeah, so this is the diagnostics tool. So this battery is good. As you can see, we're only reading one battery at a time. So to read the second battery, what we want to do is go to close the serial. Once we close the serial, the dot will turn red. So now we're able to disconnect the tool and connect to the second battery. And then we want to do a 3-second hold. And once the lights are done flashing, you're going to click open serial. And as you can see, this battery has a 60% state of charge. You can see the battery cycles here. This battery is also in good condition. The temperatures are great. No alarms. The cells are perfectly balanced. Also has 523 firmware, so this is also a good battery. We're going to move on to the last one. Actually, before we unplug it, we want to close the serial. You close the serial, we can unplug it and move on to the last one. You can actually turn on the battery before you plug it in. So you can see the lights flash. And you can plug into the console port of the battery and click open serial. If you do not have a green light, it is not communicating with the battery. This battery is at 56%. So we can see there's a little difference in SOC values between the 3 batteries so far. So we want to balance these batteries at 100%. They should balance. So this is why you want to charge Powerful 5 batteries up to 100%. Because they will be a little off unless you charge them to 100% so that they can properly balance. Now, this also has 523 firmware. The cells are perfectly balanced. You can see cell temperatures, everything's looking good. So we want to check the last battery. I'm going to close the serial, and we're going to plug into the last battery. I'm going to turn on 1, 2, 3. And you can see the lights down there. And we want to click, we just opened the serial. Let's close it again and reopen it. And this battery is also at 56%. Everything's looking good. All the cells are perfectly balanced. And you can see no alarms. Everything is looking good on this battery. So yeah, that is how you use the BMS tool to diagnose any alarms. Once you're done, you can close the serial and close out of that. That is the low volt battery check tool. And you can use this tool for the PowerFlow 16s also. You're just going to use the correct pinout, which is the PowerFlow 16 end, pins 6, 7, and 8. It's 6, 7, and 8 on both of them, but the correct pinout, we will send you the instructions on how to create the correct pinout for each battery. So now we want to update the battery. To update the battery, it's similar to this tool. We're going to close this completely. Close this out completely also. And instead of the BMS check tool, we're going to use the firmware update tool. So we want to download this folder. So once you download the firmware update tool, we're going to update them. So to do this, when you have multiple batteries in a stack, you can update them all at once. So we need to connect the cables from battery to battery. All right, so to put the batteries in communication, we want to make sure that all the batteries are turned off. The breakers don't matter in this case. You just want to do a 3-second hold on each battery. If you hold it for too long or too short of a time, they won't shut off. So make sure it's 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and let go. Once all the lights are off and all the batteries, we're going to use the short. Right, so we're going to use the short cables that come with the batteries to link from battery to battery. You don't want to use any other cable. You want to use the ones that are provided from the factory. So in this case, the top battery is going to be our master battery. That's the one that's going to communicate with the inverter. So we're going to go from the top battery, the link out port, we're going to plug into that, and we're going to plug into the link in port on the second battery. This becomes the master battery, this becomes a slave battery. So from the slave battery, we're going to go link out to link in on the third battery, which is the second slave. And from that one, link out to link in on the last battery, which is the third slave. So you got a master and 3 slave batteries. This creates one battery pack. The inverter is going to read with the master. The master is linked to the other one, so this creates basically one large battery. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on these batteries. It's controlled from the master. So you're going to press for 3 seconds. And you're going to see that all the lights are going to start flashing because the master is controlling all the batteries. So you're going to see the SOC lights only on the master battery, and the rest of the batteries will only have a run light flashing. That's how you know they're all communicating. If any other lights are on, then something is wrong. You want to make sure that only the run light is flashing on the slaves, and the master battery will have the SOC lights. All right, so once you've got your batteries in communication, once you download the firmware update tool, we're going to open it. And it's also going to ask you, you're going to go down here to the LZ low volt update tool, the only application in this folder. It's going to ask you if you want to extract it and run it. So you're going to extract all. Once it's extracted, you're going to go back to the, hold on, we went to the wrong one. We're going to go to the firmware update tool. And the LZH low volt update tool is what you're going to open up. This is going to open up a smaller window. There it is. And that's the BMS update tool. Now, you're going to plug in the RJ45 jack, which is the one for the PowerFlow 5. You're going to plug into the master on the console. As you can see, the master is showing the SOC lights. The rest of the batteries are just showing the run light, and run light. And so when we send the update to this battery, it's automatically going to update the rest of them. So in this case, we're going to click load. No, first we're going to click open serial. It's the same as the other tool. Once you have a green light, that means it's communicating, and you want to make sure that it has a version. So here where it says version, it's already updated to 523. Okay, so as you can see, it's communicating with the battery. So now what we've got to do is we've got to go back to the Zoho drive that we send you. So we've got to go back to this, and we've got to go back to battery firmware. This is the firmware that you want to upload to the PowerFlow 5s. It says MN PowerFlow 5 firmware. So you're going to download this complete folder. There it is. And the easy way to do this is I will put this on my desktop. Okay, so this is the folder that you want to download. It's in the PowerFlow 5 firmware folder, 523. This is the firmware that you're going to upload to the battery. So we need to make sure we download this folder. We're going to click that little box. We're going to click download. Once it's downloaded, you're going to go here to your downloads, and you're going to see it right there, 523. So the way I do this is I close all of these. Once you've got that, you don't need that anymore. So the way I do it, so go to my downloads, and I'm going to move that entire folder, well, if I can grab it, onto my desktop. I'm going to open it. I'm going to move that file onto my desktop. So I've got the file over here. So that's the file. It's a bin file ending in 523. So now when I click load file, I'm going to go to my desktop, and it's going to be right here, 523. So for the PowerFlow 5 batteries, that's the firmware. That's the firmware file name. Now the difference between this and the 16 batteries, the PowerFlow 16s, is only one number. That number 1 is going to be a number 2 for the PowerFlow 16. You do not want to update the wrong firmware to these batteries. So to upload the firmware, you're going to click on that. You're going to click open, and it's going to pop up right here. Once it's loaded on here, you're going to click start download, and you're going to wait for this to get to 100%. It's going to start uploading all the files. So whenever you download it, you're going to see the batteries flash here, here, and here, and it's going to go one by one until they're all done. So yeah, that's using the WaveShare device connected to the battery and to your laptop. That is how you update the battery. Okay, so that's how you update the batteries, and showing you how to connect using the BMS tool to read the BMS. So if you have any trouble or any problem with your batteries, the very first thing that we ask you for is for a screenshot of the BMS tool reading the BMS, and that'll help us see why it's alarming. It'll help us see if the cells are balanced. It'll help us see the cell temperatures and all that. So once you've sent us that, we will look at the firmware version. If it's an older version, we highly recommend that you update it. So you know how to update the battery now. Once you're done updating the batteries, all you have to do is make sure that the slaves have a run light on them, and that the master is showing the SOC lights. You can have your breakers on, and then you can plug in your inverter back to the CAN 485 connection. So it's communicating with the inverter. And that's pretty much it. So the PowerFlow 16 batteries are pretty much the same thing. We've got two versions of the PowerFlow 16. We've got the older version that only brings 3 ports. It's going to bring link in, it's going to bring CAN 485, and it's going to bring link out. So for the older version of the PowerFlow 16s, you're going to use the WaveShare tool, and you're going to plug into the CAN 485 on the PowerFlow 16 battery. And that's for the older version. The new version has 4 ports, which is the same as the PowerFlow 5 now. CAN 485, link in, link out, and the console. So if you have the new version, you're going to use the console port on the PowerFlow 16 batteries. If you have the old version, you're going to use the CAN 45. On the PowerFlow 5 batteries, which are these batteries, you're always going to use the console port to connect to the tool. You're always going to use the console port. Don't try using 485. It does not work. It's not for diagnostics. It's not for updating. It's only for communication with the inverter. So do not try 45. If your tool is a 485 converter, it will not work. It's got to be RS-232 with the adapter board and the Ethernet cable with the RJ45 jack. And yeah, so if you have any questions, you can email us, support@midnightpower.com. For the correct pinout for the tool, we will send you instructions on how to make the correct pinout for the board and for the RJ45 jack end. And I will also post a picture at the end of this video on the correct pinout. So you want to make sure that the pinout is correct. It's very important. The PowerFlow 5 battery has the same pinout as the new PowerFlow 16 battery. The older PowerFlow 16 battery has a different pinout, so you want to make sure you get it right. So once you've got the correct pinout, you can use this tool as many times as you want to. It can be used with our batteries. This tool can also be used with our inverter, but that's another video for a different day. This is a really good tool, handy, and you can use it multiple times with as many batteries as you have and as many installs as you do. In order to get this tool, you can send us an email, give us a call, and we'll point you in the right direction on getting the tool. Yeah, so that way you can update batteries, diagnose batteries. So if you have any questions, give us a call. Thank you very much.